Within 24 hours, you forget 70% of what you learn. This is called the forgetting curve, and it's the reason why cramming never works. But the good news, you can literally hack this curve and lock in knowledge forever. It's not repetition, it's not working harder, and once you learn it, you'll never struggle to remember again. World memory champions use it. It's been perfected over 2,500 years, dating back to the ancient Greeks. The best part? It all comes down to 5 simple steps that anyone, even those with an average memory, can apply. Here's how it works. 5. The Bizarreness effect. How to make your brain remember anything instantly. Ever forgotten a name seconds after hearing it, but still remember a joke from years ago? Or recall a bizarre dream but not last Tuesday's dinner? There's a reason for that. Most people think memory is about repetition. Go over something often enough and it sticks. But your brain isn't a hard drive. You can't just store a bunch of stuff. Your brain actually works way more intelligently. It filters out the ordinary and locks in what stands out. That's why you forget boring study notes, but you remember an embarrassing moment from years ago. Let's test this right now. Picture this. You see a man in a suit drinking coffee. That's ordinary and forgettable. But if he's in a banana costume, riding a unicycle, drinking coffee upside down, you would not forget that so easily. Here's the fascinating part. Your brain is wired to prioritize the unusual. It assumes the ordinary is irrelevant and the bizarre is important. This is the bizarreness effect, and it's your memory's secret weapon. Now, here is where it gets really interesting. You can use this effect to remember anything. Studying history. If you're trying to recall that the Berlin Wall fell in 1989, imagine a giant wall cracking open like an egg, and inside is a glowing neon 1989 sign. Studying human anatomy? The heart has 4 chambers, but instead of a boring diagram, picture a tiny hotel inside your chest, with 4 rooms and little red blood cells as guests constantly checking in and out. And this doesn't just work for studying, it works for everything. Public speaking? Want people to actually remember your key points? Use bold, unexpected metaphors. People forget facts, but they remember wild, vivid stories. Struggle with names? Connect them to a ridiculous image. But here's what makes this even more powerful. It's not just about remembering things yourself. It's about making yourself unforgettable. When you start using bizarre, unexpected imagery, your ability to communicate and captivate skyrockets. People don't remember data, they remember the unexpected. This isn't about being silly, it's about hacking your brain's natural wiring. If you want an ironclad memory, you have to make your brain care, because your brain doesn't remember information. It remembers what surprises it. But surprise alone isn't enough. Without the next step, even the most vivid memories slip away. Here's how to lock them in, for life. 4. The secret of when. How to unlock a superhuman memory. Most people think repetition is the key to memory. They reread books, highlight notes, and review material over and over, assuming exposure equals retention. But rereading creates an illusion of mastery. You feel like you know it, but when it matters, you forget. The information never truly locks in. Here's the real secret. Think of memory like a campfire. Dump too much wood at once and it burns out. But if you add fuel at the right moments, the fire grows stronger. Instead of mindless repetition, use spaced repetition. This means reviewing information right before your brain forgets it, and in intelligent steps. Day 1, then 3 days later, then a week. This locks it in forever. It's literally the best way to crush the forgetting curve. And here's what makes it truly powerful. It's not just a theory, it's backed by decades of cognitive science. Spaced repetition is used by top learners, medical students, and language masters to retain vast amounts of information with minimal effort. Here's how easy it is for you to apply it yourself. Step 1. Learn it today. Step 2. Tomorrow, while scrolling your phone, try to recall it. No notes, no stress. Step 3. If you remember, wait a few more days. If not, take a quick peek and move on. Step 4. Keep increasing the gap between reviews until it's automatic. That's it. No cramming, no guilt. Just quick mental check-ins that lock knowledge in forever. And here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just for studying, it's a life hack. Want to build habits? Don't go all in and burn out. Instead, start small and gradually increase gaps between check-ins. Soon, it becomes second nature. Want to be a better speaker? Don't memorize speeches word for word. Revisit key points over time, and your delivery becomes natural and automatic. Here's the powerful part. Spaced repetition doesn't just improve memory, it rewires how you learn and think. Over time, it gives you an edge. While others keep forgetting and relearning, you retain knowledge permanently. School, business, life, you pull ahead. And the best part? This stacks over time. The more you use it, the easier everything becomes. You'll walk into exams, presentations, or high-pressure moments, knowing the information is locked in. No stress, no last-minute panic. Just pure confidence. This isn't about spending hours reviewing. It's about making every recall session so effective that you never waste time relearning the same thing twice. Master spaced repetition, and you won't just retain knowledge, you'll own it. And in a world where knowledge is power, that's your ultimate advantage. With spaced repetition, you master when to reinforce memories for optimal learning. Now it's time to master how to structure memories. Because if the information isn't stored the right way, even perfect recall sessions won't help. Here's how to make that effortless. 3. How to break information down like a genius. Most people think memory works like a hard drive. Store information, recall it when needed. But then why can you remember song lyrics but struggle with a random list of words? Here's why. Your brain hates randomness. It doesn't store facts individually, it organizes patterns. Try to memorize everything as a whole, and your brain tosses it like junk mail. What you should do instead is chunking. This isn't just a study trick. It's how your brain naturally processes information. If you're not using it, you're working against your own biology. It's easy to understand by this simple example. Imagine walking into a massive building with books scattered everywhere. No labels, no sections, just chaos. Finding anything is overwhelming. Now picture walking into a library. Every book is categorized, labeled, and exactly where it belongs. Need history? Go to the history section. Science? There's an aisle for that. No effort, no confusion. Just instant access. That's how your brain works. Dump raw information in without structure and it gets lost. Organize knowledge into meaningful chunks and recall becomes effortless. This is called chunking. It's about grouping related information so your brain remembers organized units instead of scattered details. Here's how you use chunking so information sticks. Studying for an exam? Forget memorizing pages of facts. Break them into concepts. One chunk for causes of the French Revolution, one for key figures, one for consequences. Giving a speech? Don't memorize word for word. Break it into key points and link each chunk to a mental image or section of the room. Now, you only recall big ideas, not a wall of text. Learning a language? Stop memorizing random words. Group them by category: food, travel, emotions. Instead of 50 unrelated words, you now have bite-sized clusters that make sense. Here's what makes this truly fascinating. Chunking isn't just about memory. It supercharges problem-solving, learning speed, and creativity. Chess masters see the game in patterns. Musicians chunk notes into scales and progressions. Athletes chunk movements into fluid techniques. When you master chunking, complex subjects become simple. You absorb knowledge faster. You retrieve information instantly. Not because you studied harder or more, but because you now learn in a way that aligns with your true biology. Chunking structures information, making recall faster and easier. But to truly lock it in, you need the next step as well. Otherwise, it's like putting brand new tires on one side of a Formula One car while leaving the other side worn out. 2. How to learn anything faster than 99% of people. Ever studied for hours only to forget everything days later? You're not alone. Most people think deep understanding comes from working harder, reading more, diving into details. But complexity doesn't lead to mastery. It leads to confusion. The brain struggles to store random facts, and without a solid foundation, new information collapses like a house of cards. But here's what changes everything: the power of analogies. This is how top learners make any idea stick so deeply that they understand it, remember it, and apply it effortlessly. Let's prove it. Imagine teaching a kid about gravity. You could say, gravity is a force that attracts objects toward Earth. But that's just words. Now say, gravity is like falling off a skateboard. You don't float away, you hit the ground. Suddenly it's easy to get. Or take electricity. Instead of complicated physics, say, electricity flows through wires like water through pipes. Voltage is like water pressure. Now you have a mental model that makes sense. That's the magic of analogies. They turn confusion into clarity. Here's how to use this right now. Step 1. Strip away the jargon. Jargon is just abstract words with no meaning in your mind. The trick? Use words you can draw. You can picture someone falling, but not the word gravity, until you connect it to something real. Instead of saying, gravity is the force of attraction between masses, say, gravity pulls things down, like when you fall off a skateboard. Now it's not just a word, it's an image. Step 2. Find a familiar comparison. Once you strip away the complexity, link the idea to something you already know. Ask yourself, what is this like? If you're learning electricity, don't get lost in technical definitions. Say, electricity flows like water through pipes. Voltage is like water pressure. Now, instead of memorizing abstract ideas, you've connected them to something real. Here's what makes this truly powerful. It's not just for learning. Want to sell an idea? Use an analogy. Want to lead a team? Explain strategies in a way they already understand. Want to think more clearly? The simpler your explanations, the deeper your understanding. This isn't about dumbing things down. It's about making knowledge click. Learning isn't about struggling, it's about connecting. The best thinkers don't complicate things, they simplify them. And when you master the art of analogy, knowledge stops being something you chase. It starts chasing you. But even with every step so far, something is still missing. The method isn't complete without the final piece, the most powerful one of all. Pay close attention. This last step changes everything. 1. The ancient secret of memory masters. The world record for most numbers memorized? 70,000 digits of pi. How? Not brute force, not photographic memory, but a 2,500-year-old technique from the ancient Greeks. What if memory could be effortless? What if recalling information felt like navigating your own neighborhood instead of forcing random facts into your brain? That's exactly what the Memory Palace does. And no, this isn't some complex system that takes years to master. You can start using it today to remember anything, faster, easier, and permanently. Let me show you. Imagine a tourist asks you for directions in a city you've never been to. You hesitate. No landmarks, no familiar streets, just confusion. Now, imagine the same question in your own neighborhood. Easy. You don't memorize maps, you follow landmarks. Go straight past the bakery, left at the post office, right at the pharmacy. That's exactly how the Memory Palace works. Instead of forcing random facts into your brain, you attach them to places you already know. Recalling them becomes as effortless as giving directions. Here's how to build yours step by step. Step 1. Pick a familiar place. Your house, school, gym, anywhere you can picture vividly. Close your eyes, imagine standing in your bathroom. Step 2. Plan a logical route. See the shower, the mirror, walk out the door, move down the hallway, up the stairs, keep it natural. Step 3. Place information along that path, and don't forget to also use the bizarreness effect that we already covered earlier. So make it crazy. Need to remember a grocery list? Picture a giant melting block of butter dripping over your front doorknob, a loaf of bread tap dancing on your couch, a monkey juggling bananas in your kitchen. The weirder, the better. Step 4. Recall by mentally walking through your memory palace. You'll find that the images will appear exactly where you left them. This isn't about wasting time on an imaginary palace. It's about escaping the cycle of cramming and forgetting. While others reread the same thing for the 10th time, you've already locked it in and moved on. While everyone else is stuck in forgetting and relearning, you move through life with instant recall, total confidence, and a mind that works for you, not against you.